How did Grand Master Yoda react to the death of Count Dooku? The bond between a Jedi Master and their apprentice is unlike any other. Deep, enduring, and often unbreakable, even through war and betrayal. Over the course of his long life, Grand Master Yoda had trained thousands of Jedi, yet very few left a lasting impression as Count Dooku, the proud and powerful Count of Sereno. Their history was rich, complicated, and ultimately tragic. While many moments between them have been explored, one that often is overlooked is Yoda's response to the brutal death of his former Padawan at the hands of Anakin Skywalker. It's a moment that speaks volume, not just about the cost of the Clone Wars, but about the silent grief carried by the Jedi Grand Master. Beneath his calm exterior, what did Yoda truly feel when he learned about Dooku's death? This information in the video comes from Yoda Dark Rendezvous. However, before we can even get to the time of Yoda's death at the hands of Skywalker, Yoda's reaction to the Count's eventual death to a far more personal moment, an encounter between the Master and a fallen apprentice during the final months of the Clone Wars. By then, the old Jedi Master's hope for Dooku's redemption had all but vanished. He had witnessed the atrocities committed by his former student, saw the carnage he had orchestrated and felt throughout the Force. The dark side had consumed him. Dooku had become a butcherer of worlds, his name whispered in fear across the galaxy. Even during the Battle of Geonosis, Yoda sensed the deep corruption in Dooku's presence, an unnatural coldness that was no longer the man he had once trained. Yoda had always sensed a hunger for power within Dooku, a dangerous ambition, but he had underestimated the strength of the darkness that lay dormant within him. On one fateful day, however, the illusion was finally shattered. Dooku was no longer merely misguided. He had become a true servant of the dark side, a puppet twisted by its will. In time, Yoda stopped seeing Dooku and Darth Tyrannus as the same person. It was easier that way, easier to separate the man he once called his friend from the monster he had become, and yet the Force would test his resolve once more. In a moment no Jedi could have predicted, Yoda received an unexpected transmission from the Count himself. The message was cryptic but enticing, a suggestion that Dooku was considering abandoning the Sith and returning to the Jedi Order. At first, Yoda was skeptical, wary that this was a trap designed to lure him into his death. But beneath the cautiousness, a spark ignited. It was the same spark that had once guided him to train Dooku in the first place, a hope that some light still lingered in the dark. Against his better judgment, Yoda agreed to the meeting. When the two met face to face, the tension was high. But Dooku did not strike. He wasn't hostile, not at first. Instead, he made a proposition, not of one for surrender, but of alliance. Dooku offered Yoda unlimited power through the Force, claiming that together they could destroy cities and reshape the galaxy. But there was one condition. Yoda would have to embrace the dark side. He had to become like Dooku. Yoda refused, as he always would. The light was not something he would ever trade for power, no matter the temptation. Yet in that moment, he saw something rare in Dooku: doubt. Despite everything, Yoda still saw the boy he once trained, the man who once walked proudly through the halls of the Jedi Temple. And for the final time, Yoda extended his hand, not in battle, but in peace. He told Dooku that he could still come home, that forgiveness was possible, that the Jedi would welcome him back. And for a fleeting moment, Dooku actually hesitated. He didn't speak, but the shift in the Force was enough. The darkness flickered. Yoda could feel it. His apprentice was truly considering it. Redemption, a new beginning. But the moment was short-lived. Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, suspecting a trap, had followed Yoda to the meeting, and when Dooku sensed his presence, everything changed. His expression hardened, the light vanquished, anger surged within him, not just for the Jedi Order, but for Skywalker in particular. The rage had returned in full force. What followed was inevitable. Dooku attacked and Yoda was forced to defend himself. The duel was swift and brutal, filled with the weight of lost years and broken trust. As their blades clashed, Yoda finally saw the truth. The Dooku he once knew was dead. There was no redemption left, only a shadow of where a great Jedi had once stood. After that, Yoda carried no illusion, and when the word of Dooku's death reached him months later, he showed no emotion. There were no tears, no anger, no mourning. He moved on with his day, because for Yoda, Dooku had already died long ago. On that cold, bitter day when he had chosen the darkness over light, Truly, it is sad to see how Yoda tried to hold on for hope for Dooku as long as he could, but in the end realized that he was gone, consumed by the darkness that would soon consume the galaxy. But anyway, that was Yoda's thoughts on Count Dooku's death. I really hoped you enjoyed today's video. If you did, it would mean a lot to me if you could like and subscribe, as it would help the channel out a ton. And with that, my fellow Star Wars nerds, may the Force be with you.